Welcome one and all. Welcome to the Open Mic Podcast. I'm your host, Nick Bruno, and today we are going to be talking about a topic that was simmering down a little bit, but has just heated right back up with the Kendrick Lamar and Drake feud, beef, controversy, whatever you want to call it. Just over an hour ago, Kendrick Lamar released his response to Drake titled Euphoria after almost 2 weeks of no response on Kendrick's side. For those who don't know, this topic is generating a lot of buzz and a lot of talk in the hip-hop and music scene. Today, I'm going to be dissecting this brand new diss track, going over the background of the beef a little bit, and we'll also be discussing the thoughts and opinions of some local artists, musicians, and media professionals as well. So sit back and relax as Kendrick Lamar steps on up to the open mic. Welcome back to the show, everybody. I'm very excited about our topic today because Kendrick Lamar has finally responded to Drake following Drake's diss track Push-Ups, as well as his Made Freestyle that just released a little over a week ago. A lot of media personalities such as the Joe Budden podcast, the new Rory and Mal podcast, as well as fans of both artists were beginning to speculate that Kendrick wasn't even going to respond to Drake at all, especially on Drake's recent Made Freestyle, where Drake was just luring Kendrick to respond, telling him he's got to respond. I've been wanting to talk about this topic for a long time, but I didn't know when the right time was to do it, and I think right now is better than ever. I myself was beginning to think that Kendrick Lamar wasn't going to respond because it has been some time. This beef originated when Metro Boomin and Future put out their collaboration project, We Don't Trust You, over a month ago. On the track Like That, Kendrick Lamar had a surprise feature where he called out the quote-unquote big three of hip-hop claim made by J. Cole, basically saying in so many words that Drake and J. Cole are not on the same level as Kendrick, and that it's just him, and they're separate from him. This warranted a response from J. Cole on his most recent surprise drop, Might Delete Later, on the track 7 Minute Drill, which since has been removed from streaming platforms. J. Cole apologized for the track at his Dreamville festival and stated his love and respect for Kendrick Lamar on stage with a public apology. Since then, J. Cole is no longer a part of this beef, or so we think. We're going to find out as we listen to this Kendrick Lamar response. Without further ado, I'm going to get into this and see what Kendrick Lamar has to say back to Drake. The track is titled Euphoria. I can only find this track on YouTube currently. Not sure if it's been released anywhere else yet, but let's take a look. Let's look at the lyrics. Let's see what's going on. You know, right off the bat, we're only 15 seconds into this, and I just want to say, every time Kendrick Lamar is putting out a song, this is just a response to Drake right here, and right off the bat, the production is just sounding so sleek and so well put together, and Kendrick Lamar's tone as well. I just love the thought that he puts into his tracks right off the bat. I mean, we're only 15 seconds in, so.
Moving just like a degenerate, heavy antic is feeling distasteful. Why calculate, you're not as calculated. I can even predict your angles. Fabricate stories on the family front, cause you heard Mr. Morale. A pathetic master manipulator, I can smell the tails on you now. You're not a rap artist, you're a scam artist with the hopes of being accepted. Tommy Hilfiger stood out, but FUBU never had been your collection. I make music that electrify him. You make music that pacify him. I can double down on that line, but spare you this time. That's random acts of kindness. Know you're a master manipulator and habitual liar too.
Right off the bat, off that intro, I have the lyrics pulled up here. A pathetic master manipulator and a scam artist. You can already see where Kendrick is going with this one. There's only so much I can say here, so.
Oh, you thought the money, the power, fame will make you go away. Have you ever played? Have you ever?
Shout out to Genius Lyrics, because without Genius Lyrics, as well as like a lot of YouTube personalities, shout out to Sean C. Like, I would not be able to understand a lot of these lines. You know, I can catch a good amount, not a good amount. I want to say a decent amount, but without websites like Genius, I wish I was getting paid by them right now, but I'm not. Oh God, like there's subliminals here. They're not even subliminals, but like, the way this is written so far is like only Drake is going to understand exactly what Kendrick Lamar is saying. It's like Kendrick knows and Drake knows, and that's it. It seems like there's something going on here that the public doesn't know anything about, which I was getting from Drake's diss tracks as well. It's like he was egging Kendrick on a little bit, almost like, what is the bomb that Drake has to drop on Kendrick? Like, he's got to have something, or else he wouldn't be pushing his buttons, so to speak, this hard. Yet there's still something the public just doesn't know, and now I'm getting that same feeling from Kendrick.
No, today I show you I learned from those mistakes. Somebody had told me that you got a ring on God, I'm ready ready to double the wage.
Drake using artificial intelligence to replicate Tupac's likeness and Snoop Dogg's likeness, I thought that set a really, really bad and disgusting precedent. It was kind of cool, a little bit. Like, you could tell it was Drake rapping with the voice on top of it, which I thought was interesting, but I don't know. The only time I think that would be warranted is, like, if Eminem wanted to make a track and use his old Slim Shady voice on top of it or something like that. Like, that would be acceptable, but Drake using Tupac's likeness, which I'm pretty sure he's now getting sued for, that just doesn't sit right. And the way Kendrick Lamar is saying he's making Pac turn in his grave, I'm glad he's saying that. You know, I'm glad Kendrick didn't let that J. Cole stuff go unfazed. J. Cole came out and said that Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers was tragic, Kendrick Lamar's last album, and that his second album, To Pimp a Butterfly, put people to sleep. And I just thought that was the worst thing that J. Cole could say. I'm the last person to be saying this, but one of J. Cole's biggest critiques is that his music is lullaby music. I saw J. Cole in concert. I'm a big fan of his, but he was not the person to say that to Kendrick Lamar. He's not letting that go. He's not letting that apology go. Like, yeah, you said some dumb shit. Now you're apologizing for it, but I'm not going to forget what you said. Oh, man. Is he making fun of him? I don't know. I pray they my real friends. If not, I'm YNW Melly. Oh, God. Kendrick's, oof. Let me see you push a T.
Let me see you push a T.
I mean, I appreciate the beat switches. It's kind of feeling like this feels like a Mr. Morale track on steroids. You know, it opened with that somber, meditative instrumental. Like, this is already feeling like an album track, and it's not. I doubt it's going to be, but just the amount of instrumentation and effort put in on this, it's beautiful, really. I really do like this. Drake, you have a problem now, dude. That's all I'm gonna say. That is terrible. That is terrible. That is terrible. That is terrible. Wow. Y'all think all of my life is rap? I got a son to raise. I can see you know nothing about that. Ooh. I remember Pusha T saying that Adonis is your son. He deserves more than Adidas press run. Adonis is your son. He deserves more than an Adidas press run. Man, say that 5 times fast. And Adidas, and Adidas, and Adidas, and Adidas. Okay, whatever. Anyway, he's trying to keep it friendly, but he's still, oh no. The braids, oh no.
Tell them to pray, no none about that. And giving them tools to walk through life like day by day, no none about that. Teaching them morals, integrity, discipline, listen man, you don't know nothing about that. Speaking the truth and consider what God's considering, you don't know nothing about that. Ain't 20v1, it's 1v20.
Again, the production, I love the production. This is a good song. This is good for the gym. Like, diss tracks aren't the songs you really want to go back to, like an album song or anything. But this is fun.
If you take it there, I'm taking it further. That's something you don't want to do.
Oh my God. Wow, that was brutal. That wasn't very nice. That was not nice. That was pretty mean. That's gonna hurt Drake's feelings. That's really gonna hurt his feelings. If I was Drake, my feelings would be hurt. I might cry. Ooh, man, I cannot wait to see what everybody else has to say about this, who has a much bigger platform than the open mic. But don't forget that the open mic is the greatest show that ever existed, ever. Nah, I'm just playing. Oh my God, that was brutal. This has gotta hurt. This has gotta be a lot for Drake. The way this ends, too. The last thing he dropped this on a random Tuesday. This is just, 2024 has got to be one of the most interesting years for rap and hip hop so far. Shout out to Sean C. He's going to have a great reaction to this. I already know. I'm going to be watching it. What was Drake thinking, man? Everybody got pressured into this from social media a little bit. I don't even know if Drake would have responded had it not been for the social media and just press and media in general pressuring him to do it. This was bad. You know, this is the Kendrick I was kind of missing on Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers a little bit, which was a very mature album. You know, a lot of people did not like that album, but I personally think it's fantastic. That album tackles a lot of mature topics that I don't think a lot of people are ready to have, conversations people are just not ready or mature enough to have. And I can already hear it now. I already hear the responses saying, how can Kendrick call himself Mr. Morale when he's being this negative? And you got to think about what Kendrick's alluding to here. Like with this last line saying, if you're taking it there, I'm taking it further. That's something you don't want to do. He's credible. One of the most credible artists of the last decade. I wouldn't want to know what he's alluding to if I'm Drake. Like, I'm getting a pit in my stomach if I'm Drake. Whatever he may be alluding to may not be good. Anyway, I think that about concludes the reaction portion of this. We're going to transition into what this episode was originally going to be, which was just a breakdown on this beef as it was before this track came out, and some thoughts on the music industry in 2024 as well. But wow, yeah, we got some stuff to talk about, and this beef just got a whole lot more interesting. On the Big Steppers a little bit, which was a very mature album. You know, a lot of people did not like that album, but I personally think it's fantastic. That album tackles a lot of mature topics that I don't think a lot of people are ready to have. Conversations people are just not ready or mature enough to have. And I can already hear it now. I already hear the responses saying, how can Kendrick call himself Mr. Morale when he's being this negative? And you got to think about what Kendrick's alluding to here. Like with this last line saying, if you're taking it there, I'm taking it further. That's something you don't want to do. He's credible. One of the most credible artists of the last decade. I wouldn't want to know what he's alluding to if I'm Drake. I'm getting a pit in my stomach if I'm Drake. Whatever he may be alluding to may not be good. Anyway, I think that about concludes the reaction portion of this. We're going to transition into what this episode was originally going to be, which was just a breakdown on this beef as it was before this track came out, and some thoughts on the music industry in 2024 as well. But wow, yeah, we got some stuff to talk about, and this beef just got a whole lot more interesting.